I can't complain about them, and this is the time of year when I would usually be excited to see a Taboo Tuesday or a Cyber Sunday pay-per-view, and I'm really upset that we don't see these anymore. This is one of these pay-per-views where you're saying to yourself, whatever happened to this? Why don't they do it anymore? Is it all about the 3-hour Raws now? Is it all about Raw Interactive? Raw Interactive is good, yes. But it kind of does the same thing that Raw Unlimited did years ago. It would kind of allow you, give you the impression that WWE wanted you to pay more attention to what was happening on social media than what was happening on the actual program. So as a result of Raw Unlimited being emphasized on so much, the ratings of Raw would decrease, and they had to make the decision to cancel it. And they're kind of doing the same thing with Twitter and Facebook now. They're being socially interactive, allowing you to submit comments by using hashtags, giving you the opportunity to watch pay-per-views for free via WWE.com and YouTube. They're still emphasizing on that. So isn't this the same idea that Raw Unlimited was giving? Giving you the impression they wanted you to pay more attention to what was happening on the internet than the show, and then you have your commentators and your wrestlers tweeting while they're doing commentary or doing backstage interviews. Isn't tweeting during a show and using hashtags and using Raw Interactive still giving the same impression that Raw Unlimited did years ago? How long is this Raw Interactive going to last? I don't know. I hope we go back to Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday pay-per-views, because they were fun. And I mean, those pay-per-views didn't decrease the Raw ratings, because the following Monday you had a Raw. The following night, if you had a Cyber Sunday, you had a Raw, and it wasn't about interactivity then. There was just one night of the year devoted to interactivity, rather than every week on Raw you have a Raw interactive match. You have these hashtags, you have this tweeting, this trending idea all the time. It's just pathetic, and I really think that we should go back to just having Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday pay-per-views. One of my favorite Taboo Tuesday matches was the Intercontinental Championship match between Chris Jericho and Shelton Benjamin. If you would like to, you can leave us your favorite Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday moments on the bottom of our YouTube video by sending us a tweet on Twitter, or by joining the conversation on our Facebook page. We probably have a lot of first-time listeners. If we do, thank you for listening to the show. Every week we discuss a different topic, and we talk about things from professional sport to entertainment. So we hope you enjoy the program. The Chris Jericho-Shelton Benjamin match, one of my favorite Taboo Tuesday matches of all time. The cage match between Ric Flair and Randy Orton, based on mutual respect, that didn't come forth until the end of the match, which made the match that much more fantastic. Seeing Ric Flair put off such a fantastic match with Randy Orton inside of the cage was fun for me. I'd love to see another Randy Orton-Ric Flair encounter down the road. Probably never will see it, but the match from 2004 I think really did define the legacy of Ric Flair and what it was really all about. The championship match between Triple H and Shawn Michaels from 2004, great. Seeing Edge and Chris Benoit win the tag team championships, with Chris Benoit having to win the titles on his own after Edge walked out of a frustration of not being voted as the number one contender to the WWE Championship, which in 2004 was held by Triple H, was fun. And this is why the very first Taboo Tuesday pay-per-view for me was my favorite Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday pay-per-view out of every Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday that happened, because so many influential things happened and so many great storylines were created from the first Taboo Tuesday. The biggest thing for me was WWE had gone back to Tuesday pay-per-views, and they kept that idea for several years, and then here comes Cyber Sunday. I found the name of Cyber Sunday a little bit awkward, because I felt that it would give fans of professional wrestling the wrong idea because of the cybering idea. But I think that, both pay-per-views served their purpose. Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday really did enforce the idea of interactivity, having the power in your hands. And I think Power to the People does the same kind of thing. It's just not as effective for me. I don't really like the name of it. I think that WWE killed a great pay-per-view idea, and I think really that's all they did Power to the People for, was to kill Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday and create some kind of excuse to get rid of it. And I'd really love to see it brought back. There's absolutely no excuse as to why these pay-per-views cannot be happening and why fans can't afford $35, $40, $50 to $60, even if they've got to, for this pay-per-view, because it's the one. It should be just one night a year when you can vote, have the power placed in your hands, rather than having this raw interactive crap, this tweeting, this social interaction every single week. They've just recently launched a new WWE social thing on WWE.com where you can interact with your favorite superstars before and post the matches that they're in that night on Raw, which is pretty stupid. And then you have this Raw Interactive thing where you can choose the opponent or the stipulation of just one match. I think WWE is just creating excuses, if anything, to eliminate the pay-per-view Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday, and eventually eliminate the whole idea of Power to the People. I don't think we're going to see Power to the People in 2013 by the way they're going with allowing you to have interactivity every week on Raw by choosing the stipulation or opponent for one match at least every week. What we've seen this kind of thing do is eliminate Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday, which was a pay-per-view that ran from about 2004 up until at least 2007, which would have given it a 3-year run. Every Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday was fun to watch. It's the one pay-per-view of the year where I really don't have anything negative to say about it. The only thing negative I can come up with to say about a pay-per-view like Cyber Sunday was the name, because the name Cyber just didn't kind of really fit in with a pay-per-view. But I still think even with it being referred to as Cyber Sunday, just being it was just an excuse to bring the pay-per-view to Sunday, which they probably should have originally done. Even though I love the idea of pay-per-views going back to Tuesday. But I really think that that was really the only thing negative I could have said about Cyber Sunday, because we've seen everything. We even saw Mankind return for Cyber Sunday back in 2006. 2005 rather, it was 2005. He took on Carlito. It was Mankind versus Carlito, and the stipulation of the match was fans could choose which one of the faces of Foley you want Mick Foley to portray. You could choose between Mankind, Dude Love, or Cactus Jack, and fans voted for Mankind. And the funny thing was, shortly after the match was done, Mick Foley conducted an interview on WWE.com where he alluded to the fact that he hoped that fans didn't vote for Dude Love, because he couldn't find his Dude Love costume a couple of days before the match was to take place with Carlito. He won the match as Mankind, but he was a bit frustrated over the fact he couldn't find his Dude Love costume, which was kind of comical. It's no thing of strangeness to hear Mick Foley say something like that. There was one time on WWE.com, for Christ's sake, he alluded to the fact his children were watching TNA while he was doing a WWE.com interview for their web show like this. It was something not uncharacteristic of Mick Foley to say, but I found that kind of funny how he couldn't find his Dude Love costume, a character he portrayed in mid-1997 for several years, and he made such a phenomenal name as himself as 2 additional characters rather than Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. Of course, Cactus Jack was a name he got from his father many years ago, and he carried on his father's legacy by calling himself Cactus Jack for one of his wrestling gimmicks, and he had some of his best matches as Cactus Jack as well as Dude Love. So I think that, Cyber Sunday, even with bringing back Mankind, gave us the opportunity to see a lot of things. We even got a chance to see Stone Cold Steve Austin take on Vader and Jonathan Coachman in a I think it was a 2-on-1 handicap match or something like that. It was so fun seeing all these Cyber Sunday concepts and stuff, and I just really wish they were brought back, because, as I said, gave fans rare opportunities. It allowed us to create our own storylines at least once a year. And if there's one thing that I have to say about all this stuff, of like the interactive, the Raw Interactive, the social media shit, it's all just excuses to get rid of Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday. And as I said here earlier, the reason why I'm putting this video blog together is because I think that WWE are just, being lazy, getting rid of pay-per-views that you at one time loved. I mean, whatever happened to the Great American Bash pay-per-view? That's gone. Whatever happened to annual in-your-house pay-per-views that used to happen? You used to have your Royal Rumble, your SummerSlam, your Survivor Series, your WrestleManias, and in between those you used to have in-your-house pay-per-views. What happened to that? Why don't you do Tuesday in Texas anymore? Why is it always the WCW pay-per-views you're bringing back rather than old traditional WWE pay-per-views? I'd love to see a retro WWE pay-per-view done at least once a year. I don't want to see pay-per-views like Unforgiven or Vengeance done. I want to see Tuesday in Texas. I want to see, In Your House brought back, things like that. I want a retro feel. I want, a 90s feel, if anything, brought back to wrestling. And I just miss those days. And I miss pay-per-views like Cyber Sunday and Taboo Tuesday, because it used to be once a year you get the chance to have power placed in your hands. Not every week on Raw with Raw Interactive, or WWE.com/social, which is the chance for you to interact with your favorite wrestlers prior to matches and post matches. I like the idea of it, but it's kind of serving the same. It's kind of giving you the impression that Raw Unlimited did years ago, where you should be paying more attention to what's going on the internet rather than Raw, and having your superstars tweeting during backstage interviews or backstage segments is kind of doing the same thing. It's happening both on the television show and on WWE.com. Yes, it benefits the website because you have to go to WWE.com and use your WWE account or whatever to choose the stipulation for an upcoming match or choose an opponent. And yeah, it might be fixed all the time, but that's really the only thing that it's doing. It's only increasing the traffic on the new WWE.com, and really there's nothing new on WWE.com, only an RSS feed they've invalid that's consistently updated at least once or twice every 24 hours. You see it updated probably 3 or 4 times a day, and then the same information kind of just rotates over and over again until 24 hours is up and they throw maybe 1 or 2 additional things on the feed. Really, that's the only difference on WWE.com, and there are a lot of web shows. If anything, the only thing that they've updated really is their video content. They have a new YouTube channel on youtube.com/WWE, and they've added an RSS news feed to their page, which they had back in the early 2000s, but it was quickly eliminated because they used to post independent wrestling news on it. So that's really the only things they've updated. They've implemented an RSS news feed, which is something they had back in the 90s, and they've uploaded a lot of content to their YouTube channel, which is updated on a daily basis, youtube.com/WWE. There's a lot of great exclusive footage there. I posted a lot of it on our Twitter account, and I think you'll find something interesting every day on WWE.com's YouTube channel, on their Twitter and their Facebook. Really where it's at for WWE right now is on social media, and I really don't like the idea of that. That's really where it's all at, social media now. That's really what it's all about. It used to be about MySpace, and it went from MySpace to Facebook, and now it's all about Twitter, with over, I think, something like 4 million tweets sent out per day. The funny thing about this past weekend, actually,